Hi! Today I'm going to show you how to make easy and elegant handmade greeting cards using the Stampin' Up! Blossoms and Blooms stamp set and coordinating many layer blossoms dies. I'll share some card making tips as I demonstrate my Blossoms and Blooms cards. I'm Shelley Godby, the owner and CEO of Stamping Smiles, and for 19 years I've been teaching others how to create their own hand-stamped smiles, and one of those tips will be how to do greetings for mass production. Here's a closer view of the beautiful Blossoms and Blooms stamp set and the coordinating many layer blossoms dies. And when you order the two of these together using the special bundle item number I've listed right here, you'll save 10% on both. Now when you're looking in the 2020-2021 Stampin' Up! Catalog, you look to see if the image has, or any of the images have, a gray shading around them like we have with the hippo happiness. See that gray shading around the hippo and so much more, the lamb, the donkey, and all those fun little accessories? Well, that means there's a coordinating die, and we step down here and look, and we have the hippo happiness bundle. And so that's, always look to see if there's a bundle so you can save that 10%. But on this one, you don't see any shading even though we have a bundle and coordinating dies. And that's because look how intricate these are. Aha, so you can just stamp the flowers, or you can stamp them and then add all that gorgeous detail to them. All right, so we're going to do die cutting and embossing, but before we do that, we need to prepare our cardstock. So I have here Seaside Spray and one of the new adhesive sheets. Here we go. This is what they come like this, so 6 by 12. But what I'm loving about this is, look, there are breaks in it. So when you cut, when you trim them, you'll have something to be able to peel off if it's a bigger piece. Love that. So what we're going to do is make our own self-adhesive die cut for one of the dies. So we'll peel this off. Peel off the backing. All right. And I cut it to the same size. You don't want anything hanging over. I wasn't being terribly careful about that, and I couldn't figure out how I was getting adhesive on my cutting plates. Well, duh. All right, so now when we die cut with the many layer blossoms dies, it'll turn into a self-adhesive die cut. I'm using my Big Shot die cutting machine, but soon you'll be seeing me use the exclusive Stampin' Up! Stampin' Cut Emboss machine. So until then, I need to do some die cutting. So I'm going to start with the magnetic platform and then add a cutting pad. And then the cardstock that we just put the adhesive sheet on the back, I used my paper snips to trim off what, oh there it is, what was hanging off over, because I really don't want that adhesive on my cutting pad. So when you use these, put the adhesive down, and then we have our beautiful many layer blossoms dies, and we have two of these, and they're not the same. One's a little bigger than the other. We'll use the smaller of the two and place this on here. All right, and so I've got some room while I'm here. I've got some Whisper White cardstock, and I'll be using 3 of these, the Tasteful Labels dies. Aren't these gorgeous? Love these shapes, and so it's going to emboss a bit of a design in there too. And so we've got that, the cutting side down. The raised side, that's the cutting. There we go. And then another cutting pad. Go ahead and crank this through. All right, and so we get this beautiful die cut. Whoops, that just fell to the floor. I'll show you in a bit. And our flower, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So let's push this back because we have a couple more. I'll do this one, and so then using the same beautiful Tasteful Labels dies, we've got this that will be in Bumblebee. All right. Okay, and oh, look at that stitching around it. My pads are there we go, stitching. Put all that aside, and then I'm going to use a small die. So I have what looks like a really extra big piece of cardstock, but there's a reason for it. I need this little label. Here we go. And I'm going to put this in the center. And I'm doing this because I'm creating a template. My greeting will go on here, and I'm going to show you how to be able to do mass production a lot quicker by taking the time to make a template. All right, so we have that. Don't you love it when they stick? There we go. All right, and so we have that, and we need another one of these because that's our template. And actually I'm all set. I can use this one. So, but after that I will be die cutting a bunch of small pieces like this that I've saved. Okay, and now we need to do some switcheroo on here. We're going to get rid of the magnetic platform. We're going to bring the Big Shot platform over and going to emboss with this beautiful, beautiful new Dainty Diamonds 3D embossing folder. Oh, wait till you see this. Okay, and so whenever you use a dynamic embossing folder, if you go ahead and spray it, now I used water, and I always thought about alcohol. I'm thinking that would dry quicker. And then someone left a comment and said, it'll dry quicker if you use alcohol and not warp. Well, and so what I have in here is 91% alcohol. That's the highest rubbing alcohol you can purchase. And so the more alcohol, the quicker it'll dry, right? Okay, and so we'll place this in here. And you do that because it makes the image stand out even more. And so we'll place this right on here. We're not cutting anything, we won't hurt anything. And then we need the 3D embossing plate. That will be available in September. Until then, you'll need to shim. Okay, if you didn't already pick up one of these when it was available before. So let me crank this through and just show you how incredibly gorgeous. And so I think whoever suggested the alcohol for me to try something I'd been thinking about, look at that. Gorgeous. So now we get to stamp. So we have all the die cutting and embossing done. So the only thing left to do is to remove the flower from the die, gently remove that. And so what I have here is the Take Your Pick tool. I leave the paper piercing tip always in. I bought 2 of them. I leave this one set up like this all the time with this, and then the die brush on the other end. And see these little poke out holes? We'll gently press on those. And then there we go. And then while I have this, it'll be just really easy to poke these out. There we go. And this is a self-adhesive die cut. Remember, we have an adhesive sheet on there, but we won't peel that off quite yet. We don't want it sticking to anything. All right, so now we get to stamp. And so what I have here is this big, gorgeous flower. Isn't this beautiful? And I decided to use just part of it on our cardstock here, our Whisper White cardstock. And I'll have a link to my blog post with all of the measurements for this card if you'd like to make it. So what I have, we're going to stamp in Seaside Spray, and we're going to pick up the lid, slide in, and a quick swipe on my stamping sleeves because I tend to pick up ink from the clear mounts, the ink pads. There we go. And then smudge my cards. And I was just tired of that, so my mom and I came up with stamping sleeves. And if you're tired of smudging your cards too, I'll have a link under the video where you can go check that out. And I told you this had a little bit of a decoration. It does. I don't know if it'll show up on camera, but oh my goodness, it is just a beautiful shape, and then the extra little decoration makes that so special. Okay, and I just want part of the image, like I said. And this is my July 2020 thank you card. And it'll be quicker for me to stamp afterwards than to try to center the image where I want every time. But being a photopolymer stamp set, it's clear, I can see through it, and I can get the placement that I want. Here we go. We'll peel this off. Oh, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? So we have just a little bit more to do. I have on this piece, I have the Bumblebee, one of the 2020-2022 in colors, and this, the Seaside Spray, is one of the 2019-2021 in colors. Okay, so again, we'll pick this up, slide in, a quick swipe, because I really don't want to smudge anything right now. And I have the center for the flowers. So let's just go ahead and fill these in. Oh, gorgeous. That just makes it pop, doesn't it? And we'll come over here and I'll go off the edge a little bit. Oh, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So a little push. Click, it is closed, and another quick swipe. Okay, so what we have left is our greeting. And I could, and I'm using, it's a thank you card, I could line it up oh so carefully or stamp it first. And then die cut, center it around it. But I've got an easier way to do this, and that's with the Stamparatus, a stamp positioning tool from Stampin' Up. This thing is incredible. And here's a plate. It comes with two. I didn't need two for this, but remember the template we made. And so I have this in place. I just slide in my die cut cardstock. So you see I'll be able to take strips of Whisper White and just cut them, a whole bunch of them, and just keep doing this instead of carefully trying to line it up. All right, and so for this, we will use Misty Moonlight, another one of the 2020-2022 in colors. And what I did, I placed the die or the stamp on here, closed the plate, picked it up. So now it's all set to go. Okay, and we'll open this up, slide that in, quick swipe, and let's ink this up. There we go. And come over here and stamp. And it does like to stick to it, but that's okay. Gently remove that. And there we go. See, I'll be able to make a whole lot of these thank yous a lot quicker than doing them by hand. So if you're doing several, use the Stamparatus. If you're just doing one, you can center it and get it done. But love, love the Stamparatus. Now the only thing left to do is to put it together. And so I have for the base Misty Moonlight cardstock, and I did try it on the Seaside Spray, but I end up loving the tone on tone. Okay, and so anytime there's texture, I like to use mini glue dots. They're extra strong, and look, I mean it's dry, but perfectly straight, no warping. And so this means I get to use less mini glue dots. You peel this back, the backing. Here we go, until you see dots. I see one exposed, so let's come over here and press the paper to the dot. Okay, and I'll just do one in the center but normally I would do more if it was warped. Now this design, it is dainty. It doesn't mean that something, really deep and etched might not have some warping, but not the same as water. The alcohol really does. Look at that. That's just gorgeous already. All right, and so then we will use the new Stampin' Seal to put these two images together. So you know what? I think I'll do it on here. Every once in a while you need to do something, get it going. There we go. And it just need a little bit, because I put this on here. Like, that's pretty, but boy, I need a little splash of color. Well, there you go, sticking to me. And that's what this will give it. And it will be just a little bit peeking out. But it was all I needed. There we go. And so then, if you watch me, you've got to know one of my absolute favorite accessories, Stampin' Dimensionals. These foam adhesive dots really dress up your handmade greeting cards. So 1, and that's a long piece, 2, and 3. And so to make it easy, just press down with your thumbnail, and it makes, look how that edge just pops right up, so it's easy to peel off. Okay, there we go. Oh, pretty, pretty, pretty. And then our thank you greeting. And I'll put adhesive only on one, not the entire, because it's going to hang off the edge a little bit. There we go. So I wouldn't want adhesive when, see, if it went in the envelope, it would touch down. We wouldn't want that. And then our last piece, now this is that self-adhesive die cut we made. So we just peel off that backing and then rotate this. There we go. And there we have our easy and elegant Blossoms in Bloom card. If you'd like to make my easy and elegant Blossoms in Blooms card, all the supplies are listed below the video and available to order now in my online store, www.shopwithshelly.com. And when you place your $50 or more product order with me in July 2020, I'll send you one of my Blossoms in Blooms cards. And that'll be easy to do because July, well, bonus days coupons are back. For every $50 in products you order, you'll get a $5 bonus days coupon to spend in August. So get on over now to my online store, www.shopwithshelly.com. I'm Shelly Godby, teaching you how to create hand stamped smiles. Thanks for watching.